Oh dear.
Bored of all this.
You're bored? Why are you bored of it?
I'm just, do you know what? I think we're seeing just how completely flawed, broken our journalism is.
Oh, I think the opposite.
I think the double standards on display are incredible. So let's top line this. Okay, so we've got Sue Gray, Keir Starmer's chief of staff, who is, well, she's getting some beef now because of her salary, which is around about £170,000. So she had a pay rise, I think, since the last chief of staff, perhaps. But who cares? Who cares? If this were a guy in a Tory government, no one would be batting an eyelid.
Oh, they would.
And so basically, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
Simon Case was the head of the civil service. He was paid over 200 grand. No one cared.
But he's
and
not
he
a
was
Labour appointment.
and he was the person very much, involved in Partygate.
This is his chief of staff who he's brought in. Why is he paying her more than he pays himself, Danny? I don't get it.
Yeah, I've always found that a weird one. The actual Prime Minister's salary, whoever you are, is incredibly low, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Clearly, it's topped up by gifts and everything else, which we didn't know about. It's a very, very strange situation. I think ultimately it doesn't care who they are. We just want them to do a decent job. Unfortunately, not many of them do. Not many of them can justify their salary, can they?
I disagree. I actually
don't
disagree.
think it's interesting?
Right, maybe this is going to be contentious, but I don't think our politicians are paid enough. I actually don't.
It's not contentious.
I think a Prime Minister, actually given the responsibility,
Well, 2 houses
should be on more, but scrap all this gifting and donations and all this nonsense.
He's got 2 houses. He's got free food. He never has to drive a car or show a passport for the rest of his life. He's got security for the rest of his life.
Do you want me to play that back to you? Or indeed anyone. I'm just saying.
Listen to what he's got. I mean, this is the.
So what? So you're telling me
it's worth £1 million.
Jeremy, you're telling me someone's salary should be dependent on their assets and their wealth.
Sorry, you totally misunderstood. He's got 10 Downing Street and Chequers.
Yes.
He's driven around for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He never has to show a passport again. He's got free food. He's got personal protection. He's got, by the way, if he loses his job after 49 days like Liz Truss, he gets a salary of 160 grand a year for the rest of his life, as she does. My God, that's a massive package. How much more do you want?
I genuinely think you don't believe that. I think the Prime Minister of a country and indeed the Cabinet are actually, just again, if they're not being subsidised, and I don't believe in all these subsidies, why are they getting subsidised booze and food in the Houses of Parliament? I don't think it should... No, I don't think you should. No, absolute nonsense. You can entertain and you can expense it like most people do with their business accounts, as long as it's heavily scrutinised. But I actually don't think we pay them enough.
All right, just on Sue Gray, you can see in one of the papers a picture of her, and they said she was having an argument with one of the civil servants. Can we see this? So they're in. I think it's not in the Downing Street garden. It must be in a nearby park. I'm not sure they're having an argument. B, I'm not sure when this photo was taken. But C, what we can say for sure is the knives are out for Sue Gray. And that's not the media, that's other Labour people, Danny. They just don't like her being there.
And again, it's the whole spiteful culture, isn't it, of politics and inside the government. It happens every single time. Everyone's always jostling for position. Everyone's always trying to get one up on somebody else, get somebody out of a job so they can get the job. I mean, it's not the most morally, it's not the highest of standards, is it?
As John Cole said, the old political pundit back in the day, politics is just a word for one man wanting another man's job. It's, bang on, leave out the sort of man element, but there we are. Angela Rayner defended Sue Gray on Laura Kuenssberg's show yesterday. Rayner was asked if the Downing Street Chief of Staff will still be in her job by Christmas. Have a look.
And Sue Gray's been doing an incredible job, and she's got a huge amount of respect amongst the Cabinet. It angers me as someone who has been a trade union rep in the past and who wants to bring workers' rights, that somehow it's OK to, demonise workers in their workplace through the press and the media. I think Sue Gray's done an exceptional job, and we're all working together to achieve for the British people.
What the hell was that? She demonised workers in their workplace. Was that Sue Gray she's talking about there?
She's talking about Sue Gray being demonised.
But she's not a worker in that sense.
Why not?
Well, the people Angela's trying to defend surely are shop floor. The people on an average wage. They're not Sue Gray.
Why is
I
it
don't understand this.
I'm sorry, why is Sue Gray being set apart? Look, if you work in the civil service, whether you're the head or you're just a civil servant, why are you not a working person? She's not a grifter. She's not someone who's just like, They
never included people like her in their definition of working families and people on the breadline and working. That's not Sue Gray. It's completely...
She's not trying to differentiate.
So anyone who has a job is a worker now?
Yeah.
Okay, including Alan Sugar and... Okay, right, that's new to me.
Well, I don't understand the argument you're making, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, the argument is that they've always used the word workers to mean people who are in a situation of employment where they are open to exploitation by their bosses. That's who workers are. They're not Sue Gray.
She's not talking about Sue Gray being exploited. She's talking about Sue Gray being demonised in the media, which she is.
Yeah, but...
And she is a person who works. She has a full-time job.
Okay, so if you've got a job, if you've got any sort of paid...
I think if you are working...
Erling Haaland is a worker.
If you are working and you are doing a good job, why are you being demonised for it?
What do you think? Is everyone a worker now?
Well, if you,
yeah.
That's the whole point. So how many... You've just made an example. How many footballers are demonised by the media? You know, they're workers. No one cares about those. You know, I think we have to be...
Richard Branson's a worker.
We have to look at it and think,
Charlie
actually,
Mullins is a worker.
jobs are different. People are different. Yeah. You know, there are different types of jobs that people have in the media, not in the media. You can't just go, we're all workers. Life doesn't work like that.
Well, this really... We've obviously got...
I don't understand. I feel like this is a really base argument.
If you're in a position of power, a position of influence, you have to have greater responsibility.
Thank you. Right, that's my point. But what is Sue Gray doing versus like a Charlie Mullins? Charlie Mullins is a seemingly trying to exploit his workers.
You're comparing Sue Gray to a coal miner. I mean,
I'm not making that comparison. Don't put words in my mouth, Jeremy.
Bosses and workers. Workers are different from bosses, right?
Okay.
That's the whole point.
She's a chief of staff. She's not there dictating their wages and saying you shouldn't be joining a union.
Okay.
And I'm not giving you these rights.
It's very different.
Very different.
Listen, always good to hear what I'm wrong about.